In the dimly lit chambers of a hidden vault, beneath the towering spires of Turin Cathedral, lies a relic that has baffled, captivated, and mystified scholars, scientists, and faithful alike for centuries. It is a relic that has been called both a miracle and a mystery, a silent witness to an enigmatic past that refuses to yield its secrets. The Shroud of Turin is arguably the most famous Christian relic in the world, at about 14 feet long and 3 feet wide. This long strip of linen is said to be the very cloth in which Jesus, from the Bible, was buried. More miraculously, this cloth bears the image of a naked, bloody, bearded man, front and back. Devotees of this relic claim that it shows the authentic holy face of Jesus, while skeptics claim that it's nothing but an impressive and puzzling forgery. Believers in the authenticity of the Shroud of Turin say that it is the burial shroud of Jesus that has miraculously had a photonegative image of his face and body imprinted on it. The use of burial shrouds is, and has been for many years, a more or less universal practice in Jewish burial customs, so the idea that Jesus would have had one checks out. Plus, the Gospels all agree he had one, just maybe not 100% on the details. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke known as the Synoptic Gospels because they generally agree on a lot of stuff. All relate that after the crucifixion, Joseph of Arimathea took Jesus' body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth before placing it in the tomb. That rebel John, however, says that Jesus was wrapped in strips of linen with spices, like a mummy. This description is repeated later when Peter finds the tomb empty except for the mummy wrap on the floor and a previously unmentioned separate headcloth. This distinction might seem minor, but the Shroud of Turin is definitely one single piece, over 14 feet long, enough to cover Jesus' front and back vertically. It's pretty hard to reconcile with the idea of strips and a separate headcloth, but maybe John whiffed on this one. Like a lot of historical mysteries, it can be hard to nail down exactly what the first definite mention of the Shroud of Turin is, as there are a number of oblique references to similar objects that might be this particular relic, but also might not be. A key example, which, if it is a reference to the shroud, would be the earliest one found so far, is an image from a Hungarian manuscript known as the Prayer-Codex. That's right, it's not even a textual mention. It's a drawing that maybe depicts the shroud. However, while it's notable that this image includes a rectangle that might indicate a burial shroud for Jesus, you should also notice that this rectangle is definitely not imprinted with the image of Christ, but rather some crosses and a kind of zigzag pattern. Is it a shroud? Is it a tombstone? Is it just a decorative motif? Who can say? Another early example may come from the 1300s in France. As Encyclopaedia Britannica explains, by 1354, the famous knight Geoffroy de Charnay, known for his accomplishments in the 100 Years' War, possessed a shroud that seemed to bear the image of a man who had been crucified, and was displaying the sheet in his tiny French town of Larry. It is possible that he came into possession of this relic during a disastrously failed crusade in Smyrna in the 1340s. The very existence of the Shroud of Turin itself is believed to be a miracle, but any good relic worth its salt is responsible for a number of miracles performed upon people in its proximity. Naturally, a relic of the resurrection, literally the most important moment in the history of Christianity, has some magical achievements on its resume. Works by Faith Ministries records a few such miraculous events, including a few normally attributed to the Mandylion. Some shroud fans believe that the Mandylion was just the shroud folded up, such as defending the city of Edessa from invasion by the Persian army and healing its king of leprosy. The shroud is believed to have made its way to the Byzantine emperors in Constantinople, and a man who touched the shroud while it was processing there was healed of demonic possession. A more modern miracle occurred in 1954, when an 11-year-old girl from England who was dying of a bone disease and lung abscesses learned about the shroud and asked to see it. Doctors had said the girl had no hope, and she had already been given last rites, but even holding a photo of the shroud led to a partial remission of her disease. After receiving special permission from the shroud's then owner, the King of Portugal, she was able to see and even touch the shroud, and or so they say, she was fully healed. If you've enjoyed this video, Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking explorations of history's greatest enigmas. And please, share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Shroud is a miracle, a mystery, or something entirely else?